pick what you want. If you have a channel that's travel related, you might want to put restaurant ads on there, and you could pick the restaurants that you want to put. And it would offer you maybe things that are local to where you live or something like that, or where you're at. And if you wanted to advertise McDonald's, there would be an option there. McDonald's would offer you so much, to advertise their thing, and then they would make a thing, an ad, and you could put it on where you want to put it instead of interrupting your program mid-sentence. You could put it at the beginning of the show or the end, or you could put it in the middle somewhere where there's a slot. You could make it. I mean, you'd have to do a little editing, but they could make some kind of a software where advertisers could meet producers, and you could put on your channel what you want your viewers to see. And if you're doing like I am here, you could maybe offer things that are along your route. You could, and you would do a search. Okay, is there some stuff that might go with my channel? I mean, if your channel's about knitting, then you would have ads for Joann Fabrics and stuff like that on there, or even really small outfits. I mean, we need to get more decentralized and smaller. And then the bigger players would be in there too, and they would compete with the smaller local companies. I think that the smaller companies are underrepresented. They don't get, and they're not making it because nobody knows they're there. Maybe some of these places, and like the rock shop I was at yesterday, they could be in there, and they would give them a low rate so they can get in. They would get a lower rate, but maybe they'd get a little less exposure. Or something like that. They would have maybe go by the length of the commercial. I don't know how they would do that. But what they got now is they just shove the ads on your channel. And it's like, I don't want their ads. I don't want to push their stuff. It has nothing to do with my channel. But if they could put stuff on that I could pick. See, now, like, what I would do is maybe just pick friends places that I know, and make my own ads, which is kind of what I'm doing. But these are not ads that I'm putting on here. I'm not being paid. I'm not being paid to, and that's the best kind of ad, really, because the people are going to see that, and they're going to know that you're not being paid for it, and they're going to say, hey, I think I'll go there. He likes it, and he's not even being paid. That could be the future of, the way they're doing ads now is stupid. If I'm going to buy a product, I want to see it for what it is, not some professionally made scam. I mean, like for some of these restaurants, they show a sandwich and it's not even representative of what they serve you. It's just manipulation. We need to get back to walk into the place like I did, show the place, what it looks like, the people, show their food being served to you. That's an ad. Here's what you get. And maybe a slight discussion, a little bit of discussion about it if you can. I don't have a lot of discussion. A lot of the talking was off the camera. But there's 27. That goes down to Sparta. That goes all the way to Sparta. That would be a road to take too. It's too far west for me though. I'd still end up going through that detour. But that's a future road to take maybe. We're at 685.3. They need to change how they do ads. They could have some kind of a platform where you could do that, where you would go in and when you submit your video to YouTube, you could say, okay, maybe there's some place you could go and look for ads, and then they tell you how much you would get, and it probably wouldn't be a lot. Try to keep it cheap, and have local small businesses. You could maybe have one that's all small businesses, and maybe some of the bigger companies could be represented in there too, but it would be small, mostly small businesses that are trying to make a living. Because right now they just don't have any way of advertising. They can't get on TV, and they don't advertise them on the expressway. They got to pay for those endorsements on the expressway, and I don't think it's cheap. I mean, like it says McDonald's next exit, I think that has to be paid for. And so that makes a barrier for some small mom and pop place. They can't afford it. They just hope that somebody got off from McDonald's and sees their place. And they probably won't. But I'm all for trying to go to the smaller place. I mean, I may start promoting some. I'm not going to get paid for any of this, but I might promote a few just for human interest. I also want to put something on for Sahil. I may add that. That's in Chicago. I hadn't really thought much of doing that, and Babu kind of mentioned it or something. He says, why don't you take some videos? And it just didn't enter my mind that, oh yeah, that's what I should be doing. I should be incorporating this into my program. I hadn't thought of the idea of opening a channel yet. And so now it's like, yeah, I could do that. I've still got that footage. I could add that. That's what he wanted me to do, and I just didn't think of it. That's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to put that in there. And it's not really an ad, it's a human interest story. But it also promotes their business, too. I mean, the world isn't just parks, and it's also the people that are living here and doing business. I might go to Ohio one of these days. I don't know if that would be a popular attraction or not. It seems like they always come out here. But I could go to Ohio. That's an awful long trip, though. And I've thought of going to Kentucky. Kentucky to collect geodes, and then a more immediate place that I could go to even sooner is Keokuk. Keokuk, Iowa. Digging geodes, and I have been there before, but I didn't have a dash cam.